Jared, I'd like to start off with how the fuck was Thanksgiving?
Gobble, gobble, peoples. How about that? Thanksgiving was fantastic. I
Yeah.
was probably in the 5 to 6 plate range.
Okay, so
All
you.
said and done, I had two Thanksgivings to actually attend that day.
Mm-hmm.
And crushed like two and a half for the
What do you
first one, and then about 2 plates on the second one.
When you say 5 to 6? Are
Yeah.
you saying that you had 5 to 6 plates yourself, or do you
Oh
mean this
yeah.
really
Oh,
Thr
5 to 6
throughout the course of the whole day?
whole day.
So when did your day start?
3 p.m.
When did it end?
11 p.m.
Okay, so you're
Cleaned up
talking.
with dessert. Ended off with a blueberry cheesecake factory cheesecake slice, which is like probably anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 calories a slice.
So if I'm doing the math right, you averaged about a plate every 2 hours.
Yeah, but it didn't really happen that way. The way it
Mm-hmm.
happened was it was kind of like two, pause, watch a little football, ate a plate, and then it just became like getting those odds and end dishes as they showed up. You know, people were late, so they brought like different dishes. Couldn't leave those guys unattended, so
Yes.
had to give them a whirl. So, it was good. How was yours?
So in regards to my Thanksgiving, we fried two turkeys. We fried it in peanut oil, two of them. I think the temperature gauge may have been a little off. Let's just say we pulled out these turkeys. These turkeys were crisp and black. They were good. I mean, like that was the outside of them.
Yeah,
That's kind of like how
yeah,
they look fried. But they were a little. The idea of like frying is they're supposed to be juicier. They hold the moisture. You have fat in there. Fat holds the heat
yeah.
longer, so you're not drying it out with like an oven circulated heat. I really am impressed with the way I'm talking about this right now because I have no idea what I'm fucking talking about. But so I think that the temperature gauge is a little off, but it still worked out well. My cousin did like most of the preparations, or we had somebody do them per his instructions. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you some of these sweet potatoes. That's what I look forward to the most. Sweet potatoes are almost like a dessert to me. We even put them on pie crust. They're
Me
so
too.
good. So it was good. Family came. Girlfriend came. Girlfriend met family.
Ooh.
Yeah, you know it's funny because and as sweet as she is, she actually brought. I mentioned that my father really likes maple syrup. It's just you may even recall that coming over to my house. My dad's like obsessed with the maple syrup he had. And she had brought like she went to the store and there's like maple butter or something. I was over her house once and said he would love this, and she brought it for him. So it's like really
Pretty
sweet girl.
sweet.
Now here's the thing: is that she came in and I didn't know that she was had arrived. So I went. I just smashed food. I need to sit.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm like laying down. Walks like in past where I'm sitting, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, you're here." So I get up on the dresser, and I'm like, "Dad's just been standing right there." She's like, "Oh, I got this for your father." I'm like, "Oh, he's here, right? Oh, Dad, this is Grace or whatever." And he's just like,
Did Ron get nervous?
Ron did not know who she was, and to his defense, which is really tough for me to come to his defense, especially in a social circumstance. I didn't say this is my girlfriend. I said, "Oh, Dad, look what Grace got. This is Grace, my father," and did a brief introduction. My mother's like kind of eagerly, like I see her like waiting to meet her or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because my mom's just she's just really socially proactive. She
Oh
just
yeah.
runs to the hurry up. So after that, my dad goes, who is that?
And you were like,
He's like holding this maple butter. He's like, who is this? I was like, that's my girlfriend. He's like, oh, he's like, I mean, why didn't you tell? I was like, I said, and her name was Grace. I said, this is Grace. You know what I'm saying? So like,
poor Ron was in the dark, 2 steps behind everybody else.
he needs a layup socially for
Yeah.
introduction.
Oh yeah.
And he, so for that not to have been disclosed up front was just, I think, a tough hill for him to climb.
Yeah.
But no, I mean everything was great and all that, so that all went over well. But
So my question about the fried turkeys, back to the fried turkeys, because we had this discussion on Thanksgiving. There's really
it always comes up. I feel like, especially lately, I feel like a lot of people burn their houses down. So be careful out there, folks, if you're going to do this. Apparently, a lot of houses get burned down frying turkeys.
was the breast moist, and the reason I say this is because I've never had like moist turkey. It's always dry. I feel like any way you do it, you can inject it, you can stuff it, you can do whatever. The breast is always dry.
Well, yeah,
Now-
it's in the cooking method, but so to answer your question, we were actually a little bit we were disappointed because it was dry still, and it was really just because the turkey was too well done. We left in the fryer. I think that the temperature gauge was a little off. It still was a great turkey,
yeah.
but it was still yeah, it was still very dry. We were like kept trying to like, yeah, this is the same. We were just like trying to sell ourselves on it, and that's just what it was. But yeah, good Thanksgiving and all of that.
Any shopping afterwards?
No, this guy's making $10 an hour. This guy's trying to avoid shopping like the plague.
Yeah, right.
But I worked Black Friday. That was, trust me, that was at least my go-to line at the restaurant. I was, oh, like Friday last night. I was like, oh, hey, anybody do any Black Friday shopping? Literally, I got so in the rhythm of saying that to customers or guests. I hate saying customers. I feel like that's like people who come to Best Buy and buy TVs, but like a guest it's a guest when you come to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Or our friends, as we like to say. No. I literally just finally asked like the 30th table, like, oh, Black Friday show? And they're like, no. And I was getting that answer all night too. I was like, oh, me neither. I just played off that. But they're like, nah. No, I didn't. I was like, yeah, me neither. Honestly, I've been asking everybody that comes in if they did. It's an easy way for me to build rapport.
Yeah.
Here's some water. Let's talk to you. Like, they just kind of just laughed at it. It worked well. But no, I don't. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna buy shopping. I'm gonna shop for my nephews, the kids in the house, and my little cousins I'm living with right now. Here's a question. Actually, let me ask you this: should I get gifts, something for the girls' kids? If anybody listens to my girlfriend has children, and this guy does not. So, do I get them gifts?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was kind of hoping you were going to say no, but then I know that's the
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
At least something as a gesture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, they're kind of around your girl's age. So, like, what do I get them? Is there, like, a thing that I can get that's, like, a thing that'd be from me? But, like, not... But still something
Listen,
that
we
appeals
could
to...
really dive into this right now. Because
I feel like you'd be a really big help, and I'm...
It's really going to depend on your relationship with them and where you're trying to go with it.
Not really any at all. They know me, and they're just like, I'm kind of going to be briefly introduced. Like I'm being We're in the process of working me into them. Like I'm probably in the next month gonna come over for like dinner. I know. Is that what I should do?
No,
I shouldn't
think
come
so.
over for dinner.
I think maybe
I thought
maybe dinner's nice, but also maybe like just like an outing for pizza.
Yeah.
Maybe like it's like dogs, you know what I mean? A very neutral setting.
Yeah.
Where it's not like their home. They don't feel like it's in
that's
their
true.
space.
Very true.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's definitely a really good point.
But
yeah.
maybe dinner there is not too bad.
Maybe dinner after something if we want to do it that way. Like we go bowling.
Bowling's great.
Ugh.
And I love bowling.
Yeah, so do I. I'm too competitive. I feel like I'll just like.
Oh,
try to-
they're not getting bumpers up. No bumps. Because Daddy's keeping score.
Here's the thing. I don't like such orchestrated. I struggle, like, as good as I am socially, when something's, like, too structured. Like, if it's that formal, like, oh, you're going to come bowling. Like, I don't like that I feel like I have to perform.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to. Then I kind of get weird.
Yeah.
And then I'm just not there. And I'm just up here focusing on the performance as opposed to just being with them.
Yeah.
So it's like, God, I didn't even think I'd play this tape for it a little bit. I gotta make sure my mind's in my mind when I do something like that.
Listen, the thing about kids, they don't really care.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, like if they're 8, 9, they'll get a good sense of you. But like at the end of the day, like they care about fun. Like they're in fun mode. So as long as you're like being a part of a fun day for them, then you're in the club. Like as long as you're respectful, you're fun, throw a joke in here or there, make them laugh. and just make them feel like you're their friend. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I'm not really going in trying to be like,
Daddy.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't need that.
Nah,
Like, or at least,
you can't start off that way.
yeah, of course, but like I'm usually really good with like stuff like that. So I have like full faith and confidence in myself. The only time where I get like not right is like if I just feel too pressured. Like that's where like I get on like her. So like I don't like I can't have her too like instructive about them or like them with me. Like just let whatever. Like honestly, I don't give a fuck if they don't even talk to me. You know what I mean? Just like just don't make them talk to me. Don't like make because that makes me feel like I don't know. Like
You want it natural. If it
yeah.
happens, it happens.
Yeah, like even if it's
It'll be organic, man. It just happens.
Yeah.
And be honest with you, you can be a weirdo all you want. Like kids just kind of bring it out of you that you're just going to be normal with them. Like you'll almost dumb yourself down from like a 30-year-old man down to like, okay, I'm 9 years old and I'm playing whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I find myself playing Barbie and I'm like, what am I like 30 years old and I'm playing Barbie? But like at the end of the day, it's
you're
like
playing are there rules to Barbie?
absolutely.
I mean, these are two little girls, so I mean, imagine they might play some version of Barbie.
Absolutely no rules. None.
Anything goes in Barbie.
Yeah, and Barbie started a couple years ago, and Shopkins and all these little LOL dolls, and like as our humor has kind of grown,
Huh?
yeah, all these like little figurines, but like as her humor's grown, as she's gotten older, like I can get away with like having a little more fun for myself. Like I think one of the LOL dolls the other day got bit by a dog that was in the yard or something, and I was just like, "Oh, he got bit, dial down," and like 3-4 years ago couldn't do that, but like I still have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You just kind of do it, man. It's not like a pressure thing at all. And the more you overthink it, the more the more you're gonna be weird. But at the end of the day, like just show up and be like, "Hey."
Yeah, true.
But
Yeah, I wasn't like overthinking. I was like not even thinking about it at all. But like at all, I don't know.
jeez, from Boston.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. It's been a long day. But yeah, you know what's funny? I actually just spaced out because I like all I want to do is like redo our intro to this whole podcast thing.
We can do it at the end.
Yeah, then I'll edit it back in there. But but what do you think about this whole hearing your voice right now? Because I've noticed like when you're talking, I was like, yeah, it's like now we got to do this more because it's like it's helping me kind of project my voice reasonably because I'm actually probably talking a lot quieter than I thought, but like it's sounding clear in this mic.
I think we're both talking way softer than we have been the last couple.
I mean, it was the Wild West of recording before. I mean, we were just winging this shit. I'm looking at these patterns here, and then I'm literally just like watching the gain on our audio interface. And I actually don't think that that's in the camera, so cool. But, so yeah, some people, it's funny when you start doing a podcast, and I guess we've started, right? Because this is something that
we're official.
Yeah. And hats off, you know what? Hats off to us. I mean, seriously. I mean, this was, not that we built like a fucking Roman Coliseum, but it is something we say we're going to do. And we've so far been doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it took energy and work and,
for a simple idea to manifest to actually something.
So
I love it.
A podcast actually really is a great, it's an obtainable challenge. Whereas it offers itself for like a runway for you to grow or learn about the thing, but then information is accessible enough and the execution of it is approachable enough for you to do it. So it requires some money, some understanding, mistakes,
lots of
mistakes. I mean, it's funny, but but it's nice. Like we're kind of like you and I have been getting really excited about it. I mean, you and I have been like super excited about it and haven't really recorded a goddamn thing. Except for, actually, we actually have. You know what's funny? You know what I love about the podcast?
This may be like 3 or 4 for me and you.
Yeah, this is
together.
this is number 4. So like, the thing is, you know what's funny about the way we've been starting is that like, once you kind of get rolling, like we're kind of, I feel good now. Like when you get started, it's a cold start, so you're kind of like, we're gonna get that going. I mean, like, but that's another thing that again you get to grow. But like, imagine when we have, and we're gonna start having a guest on. We're gonna start having, and that's gonna be great.
I can't wait to learn. You know what I mean? Like, I love learning, but I hate reading. Like, I absolutely hate reading.
Well, you came to the right place doing a podcast. Good thing it's in a book club.
Yeah, right. I definitely wouldn't be a part of it. Yeah, that would have never manifested.
Yeah, we won't be reviewing any books on this Peer Podcast.
Not at all, but like I like genuinely learning from smart people or people that are educated in different like small fields. I love it.
It's great. Yeah. I agree. I honestly like learning is basically living. I mean, right? It's just like another word for learning is discovering. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you are an adventurer for your mind. I know I'm kind of being large in my language and being like, and I'll tone it down, but like I'll tone it down a little bit. But seriously, I mean, like
Dad's been up since 7. Come on.
This guy's been up for a while.
Have you?
Yeah, I didn't sleep well at the girl's house last night. She had these 2 dogs, and the thing is, I'm such a fucking pussy for these dogs. Like they're just adorable. I don't know. They soften me up.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but they sleep on the bed, and I'm not a big guy. She's not a big girl. It's a queen size bed. It should be fine, but with these 2 little doggies, they just, wherever they are, I'm kind of like locked into not rolling over or turning over. My legs are separated.
I know that life.
So I think that played into it a little bit, and but she's like, well, I can take the dogs out, and the thing is, I'm such a fucking nut. I'm like, no.
I'll sleep like this.
Yeah, I mean,
so that the dogs can have a good night's sleep. Yeah, don't worry about it.
I know. So it's kind of like it's on me, but tonight I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the house and sleep. Papa Bear's gonna sleep alone. Catch some of those Z's. But it would be nice to wake up having recorded this, to have a little something to look after and potentially edit before work. But
keep it going.
Yeah. So, but
I did go Black Friday shopping. By the way,
what did you get?
Nothing. We went to Under Armour.
Wait, so then it doesn't sound like you went then.
No, we went to multiple stores. So me and our missing third wheel here.
Oh yeah.
We went out and left at like 9:30 Black Friday a.m. Got out there, went to Under Armour. They had a 50% off everything sale at their factory store, and we got a couple things, but like they always mark it up. You know what I mean? Like you're going off 50% of the MSRP, so it's like $140 for a jacket, so you're still paying 70 bones for a jacket. So it's like the deal is really not that big of a deal. So went to Best Buy. Still the deals weren't really out there.
It's just,
so
you know what the thing is, you just gotta kind of tell people that you'll have them. Yeah. But like ultimately, Black Friday is just a day that everybody goes shopping. It's not, we say it's for the deals, but
it's really a pastime. But it's really a pastime.
Yeah, it's just that is got to be an American thing, right? I mean, it's a day of just celebrating consumerism. We are spending Chad. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm sure there's some stat out there that if we had listeners, I would ask you to fucking pull in, because I'm just too lazy to search that right now, even though I have easy means to. Yeah. But I imagine that the numbers are pretty. There's probably some figure that says like what percentage of our debt for the years acquired through like this part, like fourth quarter.
Well, I think a lot of it went drastically down with the the price of TVs going down. Like Black Friday for me was always like
It's TV day.
TV day. Like,
I'm like, I have 10 TVs, but I'm like, I'm definitely going to cop another one because it's Black Friday.
but now you could buy like a 75-inch 4K for like 400 bones.
It's so funny you say that.
It's
'cause
awesome.
It is like when you think Black Friday, all I'm thinking is flat screen TVs, boy. Like we'll probably have like another sick technology like that replaces televisions. This guy's still going out to get a flat screen.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? That's not like the tradition. It's pretty much just flat screen day. But well, you know, if you miss Black Friday, there's always Cyber Monday, folks.
Yeah, but it's not really Cyber Monday because all the deals happen all week now. I think they're just trying to expand it to like the month. Like
We
it's
still have our Black Friday deals. Like, no shit, bitch, it's fucking January 15th. Well, sorry about that, folks. But now I just realized I could have just kept the heater back in place. But whatever, at this rate.
I wasn't feeling it. So
But, well, we'll get this fucking thing down smooth once. I mean, this, again, podcasting, it lends itself to some challenges that are obtainable. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, well, but honestly, every time something goes wrong a little bit, I'm like, fuck. Like, what now do I have to get right?
yeah,
First, we buy the wrong mic. We buy microphones. We would never been able to do it. Like, we just literally bought. I mean, to your credit, and I definitely will give you credit for like we're doing this. I just bought shit. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, you bought them, so let's do it. They were not going to be able to.
yeah.
Everything you bought would be sent back, but except for these chairs though and the table, so that means something. But it was the ball that started rolling. So.
Yeah. You put money towards anything, you invest in anything, you'll do it.
I knew it was too good to be true when it was like $180 for 3 mics. Like, nice. And
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
We thought literally that was it. We thought literally what we spent for the head, because it came with headphones and all this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get a podcast set up for.
I saw the ones we have at work. They got, and it's like an all-in-one thing. And I saw them online, and a lot of people use them. Like I think 4,000 some people have bought it, but they were like $119. So, but that's merely for like individual sitting in front of a computer podcasting, like web streaming at most. Just a higher quality mic than like a regular desktop, I guess you could say.
You know what's funny? I'm literally texting the manager at the restaurant because I just got a Facebook message from Tommy's wife about did anybody find his wallet at the restaurant? So hopefully,
They had a good time then. They were having a good time.
yeah, when they showed up, they were.
You lose your wallet, you're having a good time. Like,
Yeah.
I never had a bad time and lost my wallet up until I woke up and realized the wallet's gone. And that's a whole wallet. Lost a lot of debit cards, credit cards, left them at bars. They say they don't have them. Cancel them, get a new one.
Right.
Not too bad. A whole wallet is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's an ordeal to get done.
Oh my God, I can't even think about that. Dude, like my car keys or my wallet. Oh my God, it is unbelievable how bad that sucks. You know what's funny? Like everybody can relate to this check, especially if you were like a guy who went out to parties or anybody that went out to did anything anywhere. I guess the whole pat the pockets, cell phone, wallet, keys, pat down that you give yourself.
Keys, wallet, cell phone.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, when you felt that pocket, and you're just like, it's just like empty as shit. You're like, what the fuck happened? How on earth is that? Like I can't believe I wasn't aware of that was going. So I gotta say, if there's a hell, it's you wearing sweatpants with your keys in your pocket in a movie theater. Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like I get done the movie, I'm like, I have nothing. I have no keys. I have no wallet. My cell phone's nowhere to be found. I can't use it for the flashlight to find the other two. I'm all out of sorts. Like, but the thing is, half the time I'm always wearing something like that to the movies. I
I don't park over storm drains. My biggest fear
Oh
is
my
to
god, I
step.
know.
Hey, you ever step out of your car and you drop something out of your pocket because you're sitting
Yeah,
low?
dude,
My biggest fear is I get out
that
and
gets
my
in the drain.
just goes straight down, like my keys, my wallet,
You're stuck.
anything.
You're fucked.
You're fucked.
I'll tell you something crazy is that when on one weekend we were leaving Salisbury and this girl was driving us back and we went to leave and we were excited to get back for the weekend. She did just that. Like literally we just packed her car and then boom. We are able to lift up this crate. Your boy goes down there like wedging his feet on like each side of this fucking basically tunnel. I mean like Mission Impossible. I mean, and I got all the way down. I got when I say all the way down, it was like 5 feet, 6 feet down. It was a little taller than I was, and I found him. But like I literally went dropped down the drain. I was like, oh my god, it's so fucking just something inherently scary about.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're just like, what the fuck? You're just afraid there's someone down there that there's just like,
It.
or or you just can't get back up, and they're like, dude, no one can. There's no solution to get you up. You're stuck down there forever. Like it's just this obnoxious, like this irrational fear of just like, no, Eric, you know what? We called the federal government. We contacted everybody.
Even the military can't get you out.
No one
it's
can
not
get
that.
you out, man.
Yeah.
So,
Local fire department will definitely get you out.
but yeah, I have
fear.
that. I also have that same fear. But yeah, I mean, so
Do you remember that time down in Salisbury when I came down there and I totally lied and told people that told your buddy that I could drive a stick shift?
oh yeah, it was like right when you arrived.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
literally got there like you're like we hadn't even got a chance. You hadn't even packed your bags down. They were like, yeah,
We need your help.
that's right. That was when my friends, yeah, they got pulled over. That you know what happened that night?
What?
So that guy that we went and picked up,
Yeah.
they basically arrested. Was this the story? I can't remember, but if it wasn't that event, it was like they literally pulled them over. They had a bowl and they arrested a black guy. I mean, it's like I was like, I guess racism is death real. I mean, because they were equally at fault, and I guess they just kind of, I guess maybe
But they both said that it's not theirs. It would go on the driver, whoever the driver is.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
how it
how that
goes.
works. I mean,
Yeah.
I think because technically he had said it was his bowl, but the weave. I'm sure it actually probably made sense, but it was just like
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you not go there? Like, why are we picking you up? Like, why are we picking both your bitches ass up from jail? Like, yeah, we showed up there and like in the car and like you have no idea. And the guy's like, all right, I'll just take a swing. I'll take a swing at this thing. We're like, yeah. You're like, yeah, it's probably best. And you're like, all right, sick. Let's get back. Yeah, I know. We got shit. You threw up all over that futon, boy.
Boy, poison.
Mm-hmm.
The only time in my entire life that I have been poisoned.
You were someone. What did we do? I forget.
Dude,
man.
we went to that frat party or something,
yeah,
and
that's
I
right.
had one drink out of that cooler.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a couple.
It doesn't really. I was gonna say.
Yeah, but it was like
You've had
it
a
was.
history of boozing. Like you're not the most reliable source here.
I distinctly remember showing up dead sober, pretty much to a certain T,
Yeah.
and then having like one drink, and then Daddy's got to roll at like 11. I remember grabbing a hold of you and you escorted me out to the car.
Yeah,
and
you
like
were
I
bad.
remember everything spinning. I was
Yeah.
like, not good.
You were.
And
you
that was
were
like
really
2
bad.
days. I spent like 2 days on that couch.
Yeah, like you were like laid out, had yacked, and my boys like your boys. My roommate was like, your boys straight yacked all over the feet. I'm like, you were laying in it. I was like, yeah, I think we're just gonna have to let them stay there. I think the best thing is to do nothing and
Yeah.
just deal with the fact there's yak in the room that we're
Oh
not.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was funny.
I forget that was a time of my life.
How
that,
old were we?
18. I mean, I must have just turned 18 because I started
Yeah.
college at 17. You visited pretty early. Like you got.
Oh,
down
that
there,
was the
yeah,
first. That
yeah.
was you'd only been there like a couple
Yeah,
months.
I mean, I had just started hanging out with all the people I've been with. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's funny to think back at that time. It's like, yeah, I was like at a point like that's what I was doing, and that's all that was in my head, and like this is all that was in my world. Like honestly, when I think back to my time at Salisbury, certainly some. I don't reflect back on Salisbury times a lot, to be honest with you. I don't. When I left there, I was really ready to go. I mean, I needed to not be there anymore, um, and I was just away enough to really be left to my own devices in a way that wasn't totally healthy. Not that that didn't carry over anywhere I went, and but it just, especially that town, it goes to nowhere, or the places it goes is just more nowhere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like Eastern Shore kind of abandoned lifestyle of like, I don't know. It just, it's a great school, but like if I went back to college, I'll tell you that certainly I'm all for college if that's what you want to do, but I really am really kind of sick of the whole that's how we're supposed to go through life. I don't really like that, and it wasn't good for me. I am grateful. I'm not trying to like, yeah, thanks. I mean, it's something that I got to do for sure, and
And you completed it.
and
You got your degree.
I did get my degree, but I got to tell you, like, I did not. I could have done. I should have. It wasn't that much structure and like not necessarily structure, but requirements when it came to courses and things like that. It wasn't good for me. It wasn't. I nearly wanted to spend more time like understanding what I liked, as or at least learning more about that. I didn't learn more about what I liked. I was learning shit, and I had to find what I liked through it. You know what I mean?
I would
don't know.
love.
I'm not saying it.
And again, once this podcast takes off, I hope we have somebody that I can literally look at and be like, hey man, Google this for me, because I would love to know the percentage of people that never use the first like 5 classes they take in college.
Like, what
because you
is-
really you're 17, 18, you have no idea what you want to do with life.
Dude, I'm literally taking. I took English 101. Let me tell you this 3 times. You have to pass English 101 and 102.
Yeah.
Right? That's a requirement.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking bombed my first semester of school. I got a .3 GPA. I literally got an F in like 3 classes and got a C in 2 or something like that.
You really indulged
no,
in the college
yeah.
life.
And here's the thing. This guy never heard of something that everybody else was into, which is called dropping classes. So when you're bombing, you just drop it. You don't get that grade. It's just a dropped course.
Yeah.
I didn't drop anything. I just wrote out and never went and got Fs. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. So the thing is about school, there's like a forgiveness. You retake that class. That new grade replaces the grade. So you get an A, you take English 101 again, you get an A. That F is now an A, right? So I took English 101 again among other courses. And I also failed that. Yeah.
The second time
Yeah,
around.
now that was already on academic probation, but I got B's and everything else. So I needed to get a 2.5 or 7 to stay on academic probation and be able to keep going to the university. And I was like either right at it or even like slightly below. And I was like, come on. But when I took it again, remember that's 101. I had to get 102 done too. Well, then they started offering 103, which is a combination of the two. Then, dude, like, I don't know what. I'm not trying to not know so I can make a point of how pointless it was. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I have no idea what I did there. Like, I mean, I couldn't tell you anything that I did. I know that stuff got done. I don't know what they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it just played that little, it had that little impact on my life and my mind and how anything that.
I wouldn't say I'm opposed to college, because I think there's actually there's
Yeah, I
there's
definitely
something
would say that too. I'm not opposed to it at all.
There's something about college that's beneficial. But that being said, I think you're too young to be. I wouldn't say everyone's too young. I said that I would say that the average high schooler that is going to a middle level university, I I think they're just not educated enough about themselves and about what they want to do in their life to be going to University of Maryland $40,000 a year. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just a lot of money to not know what you're doing. Like I'm buying a car every single year for the next 4 years, and I don't know if I'm going to like the car.
Look,
Like
look,
it's crazy.
it's the money. I mean,
Yeah.
when I think about it, and I, God bless my mother and father, they helped me, and
Yeah.
actually have some anger about the money that they spent because it kills me. Because like, look, when I'm, I don't like to look at it like this way because, like, honestly, the things that have happened, and that's what got me here. So who
Yeah, yeah.
knows? You know what I'm saying? So with that said, if I could, like, if I was gonna go back and like make something ideal, I mean, I would have stayed. I mean, like, I'm in the restaurant business, right? I mean, like, I
Yeah.
went to school for business, and so my parents were like, yeah, look, and you're doing business, like, because I'm learning business firsthand.
Yeah.
I'm part of like a business that, my cousin runs and all that stuff, and I started and really kind of teach me the ropes of certain things. It was great. And my mother was like, yeah, see, you did business, but I'm like, here's the thing. I didn't learn. There's nothing that I'm here with that was from there
Yeah.
that's helping me out. Like, I don't. I think the one thing that I got. I mean, there's things. What I say about college, what it did for me was it helped me callous a level of discipline. And when it came to, like, I learned I can't miss class because it's just too risky. Like, I have to track down what did I miss, what's due, what did she say
Yeah.
about this thing, and
It's a slippery slope to get behind.
So I always tell anybody who goes to class, I'm like, go to class, don't miss class, go to every class,
Yeah.
always. It makes things way less stressful. I mean, I still have nightmares every once in a while to this day where I've, like, in school, and I realized that I'm, like, towards the end of the semester that there was a class that I had been enrolled in this whole time, and I went the first day, and I just stopped going, and I forgot that was I had a class. Like, it's like I was in biology, and I went the first day of biology, never went, and at the end of the semester, I forgot that I was fucking supposed to be, that I was in biology. And I'm like, oh shit, like, fuck, that paper that was due at the end of the semester, like, this huge project I never did, I forgot I was part of it. Oh my god, like, that feeling that I forgot.
Yeah.
God, it's crazy. That's a nasty feeling, but
See, now I look at so now, like, in my job now, I actually have been a part of the hiring process for employees, and like they give like it's on a point scale, and they give a certain amount of points for education, like 4-year degree, master's, doctorate. Like you get a certain amount of points rated on that. But they're starting to like weigh it less and less. Like I think for a bachelor's degree, you only get like 2 points up on anybody else in that's applying. I just really think that experience is starting that because how common bachelor's degrees are becoming.
right.
I really think that the experience level and the knowledge is far greater in actual hands-on experience rather than a 4-year degree just saying that
Bro,
pretty much you can start and complete something and you can get something done and accomplished.
What I'm really not trying to say this because I had whatever my experience in college, and therefore I'm defining it, all colleges by this
Yeah.
experience. Like, I really am trying to be fair about this. Like, but I feel that people are gonna find themselves coming out of college and feeling like they're behind in the world and not ahead,
Oh yeah.
and they're gonna be like, fuck, I haven't, fuck.
Do you honestly know what I would have done? Like going all back. Now I don't think I would do this, but like a really not bad way to go is to in like 9th or 10th grade
Yeah.
drop out, get your GED, and go right to college. And by
Right.
by 17, you got a 4-year degree.
Almost like you're right. Like, why not just do college when I'm 14? Like, why am I waiting?
if I can pass like at 15,
Yeah.
I knew all the basic math I really needed for a GED. I pretty much had my English pretty much narrowed down.
Yeah.
I lost most of my English skills in high school. Like so
That's funny. Like, really, I mean, I could have probably done my business courses in those years. I mean,
Yeah.
when I So at the snowball stand, like most of the girls that worked for me were private school girls, and they went to like a good private school in Baltimore.
Yeah.
And I mean, when their school's in session, I would hear some of their what they have going on, and I'd look at some of their homework, and I was like, wow. I mean, this is like I see the difference. Like you are being super held accountable. Like you guys are like have to work through certain things. I'm like, well, this is good homework.
Yeah.
Like this is heavy, kind of.
Yeah.
And
Do you believe in homework? Like
I
you just
must not have because I never did it. At least I never did
Yeah.
it at home. I literally was that guy every day scrambling in homeroom to figure out what it was.
Yeah.
Okay, who has it? Can I finish this? I mean, I got
Can
into
I
this,
copy? Is it worth copying?
bro. I really got into this habit in eighth grade. Right before I got into high school, I was like, God, I just stopped doing homework. I
Yeah.
just stopped it. I just stopped doing it. I got home. I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I can't do this. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm done. I just wouldn't do it. I mean, when I got home, I literally used to go home and just knock. I get off school and I remember I used to just knock out for like, I mean, seriously.
I what I always thought is you should have weekend work because I just put in 8 hours of schoolwork.
There's
Why
a
do
lot
I?
of kids. If anybody's listening to this, there's a lot of kids that are gonna fuck you.
But listen, that's
They
Monday.
do. They
That's,
do have it.
but that's I always said you should not have homework Monday through Friday. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just put in 8 hours of schoolwork. Your brain has been actively engaged in schoolwork, and nowadays schoolwork's pretty intense, even for
Yeah.
like elementary school. Like I look at Marissa's math homework,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, wasn't doing that in fourth grade, and like to her credit, like she does great, but I'm sitting there like almost 45 minutes to an hour doing her homework, doing like 36 problems, like reviewing them, making sure that they're correct. And
You're
I'm-
spending half
and
the time learning how to do it in the first place. Seriously, dude.
luckily YouTube.
Yeah.
And now
Everything's on there.
and now they have they're doing math a different way than they've ever done it before. Like they're using like the I forget what the method's called. But it's a different way of learning math.
Yeah,
They're like rounding numbers before they do the actual like.
Here's what I think is that education is obviously important. Like you and I literally started off this podcast was talking about how much we like learning and how it's discovering, and so I just think what's going to change is just what are we putting together, what systems, techniques, strategies, curriculum, or opportunities are we putting in place for anyone, youth, or whoever to learn? Like, so what is it that we want them to learn? And what I think that we should be much more fundamental, like, who am I? Certainly technical skills, like certain math. I mean, I get that, but like, what am I? What do I want? And what are things that are in line with that? And like, how do I learn more about, you know what I mean? Like, I really want to, what?
$1 million idea right now. A company that goes onto YouTube and vets YouTube
Yeah.
providers and creates universities out of YouTube videos.
So
Like-
that already is, from my understanding, happening. Yeah. So like, this is where I was gonna go next. That because like me and my girlfriend were talking about like even education one time, and I said, and I was reflecting back, and I said, honestly, like my kid wants to know, like, I don't want to pay for all this money for college for my child. I mean, like, I'm like, if you want to do it, I can help or whatever. But like, YouTube. I mean, seriously, and like, so like, what I think what YouTube's gonna do, I think it's gonna offer itself. I think it's wonderful, and I think things like that are gonna offer a much more customizable marketplace for customizable learning that's tailored to different types of people, and that you can, and I think it's gonna be wonderful. I really do, and I think that stuff like that there are universities that are through YouTube, or there's educational systems that are for that on YouTube. I'm pretty sure.
If you spent 8 hours a day researching how to run restaurants, how to pace a restaurant, how to develop plans, like how to structure, you'd be way farther ahead than taking like 1 year of college. If that's what you're going to end up doing. Like if you know that's what you want to do at the end of college, like you want to open up your own business or open up your own restaurant or something, like I just find like YouTube for me is like everything. Like I can spend
everything.
I spend 8 hours on YouTube or 4 hours of YouTube, like
It's
researching
incredible
a
what we can
specific
do.
topic.
You're right.
Your knowledge level is like astronomical.
unreal.
You
It's
start talking like educated about it, I'm like, YouTube killer.
It's unreal. I mean, you're totally right. I think, and I think that's just like so. Like even when I thought about like kids, it's like okay, so I have a son, and he's like,
You do have a son, or is this is make believe, right?
this is make believe.
Okay. You said I have a son. Just for the viewers,
No,
he does not have a son.
thank you. But I was saying, let's say if I had a son, let's say I have one,
Yeah.
and we're older, and he's getting to 18, he's gonna graduate high school, and he's like, I want to go to fucking UCLA or like USC, like Southern California, right? I'd say,
Scholarship.
yeah, yeah, right. And so I'd be like, oh, here's the thing. I'd be like, listen here, guy. That's great. Let me ask you a follow-up question. Do you want to go to that school, or do you just want to go to Southern California and be out there? Because if so, like, we can figure out a way for you to like get out there. Like let's say, all right, let's find a means of income. Let's find a means for your shelter, and they kind of get you going a little bit. And sure, like you don't need to indebt yourself because you want to go out there and learn. You might get out there and get exposure to people that go to that university, that you watch you go to some of their free things on campus, and then you're like, you know what, I need to be at this university. I mean, I'm like, I think you just want to go somewhere, and I think you just want to experience being somewhere else and who you potentially might be.
Yeah. I
You know what I mean?
No,
Like-
no. That's exactly what most kids are searching for. I think that go away. Really get me the fuck out of my parents' house.
Yeah.
Just let me go out and be. There's also that fear of everybody else is doing it, so I'm gonna do it. But then I just don't think a 17-year-old's ready to be like, guess what? Moving to Southern California, get my own apartment.
Yeah.
Gonna find my own job. Gotta grocery shop for myself. Gotta buy my own TP. Like,
Listen.
there's just a lot of things that go into
Listen.
that I at 17 I would not be ready for.
Okay.
That's why I think colleges are like a great next step. But
Yeah.
you have but when you pull that trigger, I just think it's paramount that you know exactly what you want to do.
See, I think that you're probably right, but I also think that I'd also argue the point that it doesn't prepare you, it prolongs this fantasy that you live in where things are available to you and easy. So
Yeah.
even the kids that were like, well, I fucking put myself through, my parents didn't help me. I'm like, okay, you took a loan. So somebody gave you money, right? In this case, it was a bank, okay? A bank gave you money. You didn't have to do anything for that money. You just had to, maybe you had to have some kind of income. But point is, like, and I'm not taking away from, like, the hardships of that and the weight of that at all, but it was still money given to you
Yeah.
and used and to at a place that was basically provides food. And if it's not on campus, there's things right there off campus that are obviously there to supply that marketplace.
Yeah.
Half of them let you use the campus card that you can upload your points to, that you bought your meal plan with the money that you got loaned to you from a bank or mom and dad, whatever, whoever gave you money. Problem is with the banks, like, they're like, all right, motherfucker, you gotta pay me back, right? And so like, but like, you're still like living this fantasy world. Like, you didn't have that money. You don't have the means to do that. Like, you're not. This isn't something that you're able to do yet, but we're letting you think that you can because we've decided. You know what I mean? Like, it's
No,
like you don't have the means to put yourself. you're being loaned a shit ton of money, like, and you don't have any proof that you're gonna be able to pay it back. You've literally your only job was fucking frying chicken, maybe at Chick-fil-A. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have maybe, and I'm speaking.
But that's also the banks that are taking advantage of situations.
Yeah, and like I
And
can't
then-
blame them. I mean, fine, but
But if they do that, that's one aspect. But tell me this: how can they loan a 17-year-old like
40 G's. I'm like, what? Dude?
yeah, 40 G's? But
Like,
but then that's the only debt that if you file bankruptcy that stays with you.
I know. So
Like-
like that's what's fucked up. So the thing is like I knew my friends and like a girl that I dated, like I was my girlfriend in college. I mean, she was a girl who literally had to get student loans.
Yeah.
When that check hit, dude, she was broke in like 2 weeks. Now that was her. You know what I mean? That was not everybody was like that. People really were more responsible. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, she wasn't ready for that.
No.
She shouldn't have had
No,
that.
Nobody's ready to see at 17.
She was buying shit for everybody.
a $2,000 check, $3,000 check at 17 years old hitting your wallet, and no parents.
I thought I was
no,
a lottery winner when she's like I was like $2,000. You gotta be. That's nobody has that much money.
Yeah.
What are you, Bill Gates?
Yeah.
I was just like, how the fuck do you lend your hands on that much money? She's like, yeah, we were buying. And then I also learned how fast money can go, and that no amount is too high for you to spend it quick as shit. Like,
Not when all your friends are broke too. Like if you got the money
that
and
was the
you're
thing,
trying to have a
especially
good
when you're
time.
new and you're meeting people and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I got loans. And you're just like, girl, this is money you're going to have to pay back and you're spending it on us.
Yeah.
Thanks. But, you know, I mean, I felt so bad because, like, I was the benefactor of some of this, and my parents were paying for my college. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I'm like,
Yeah.
here I am using this girl who's borrowing it from a bank who's never going to let this fucking thing go. I mean, the banks, it's so right because it's like, look, you've kind of decided socially and culturally that college is like almost like religion in the sense it's holy, that it's never wrong to go, right? And so we've decided that a fucking minor, a adolescent or a 17-year-old kid has the means to borrow a great deal of money,
Oh yeah.
that he's able to make that he or she's able to make that type of decision, that you wouldn't let them take that money and use it to buy, like, I can't think of something that's is equal, but like,
A car.
yeah,
You're not going to give a 17-year-old a $20,000 loan to buy a Honda Civic to get to and from his
classes because he's not living on campus.
His
Right.
classes, or how about just I don't want to go to college, or I'm not ready for college. I'm going to continue working at Chick-fil-A, but I need a car to get to and from my house. No bank's giving them $20,000 to buy a car, but they're gonna give them $40,000 to attend a university.
Yeah. So basically, forget that it's school or cars.
Yeah.
You're giving somebody money based off a decision they decided to do with their life. So we've decided that anytime a kid's decided to go to college, that's always the right thing. And the thing is, it shouldn't cost that much money. I mean, all right, so be careful with that. If it costs that much money, then it costs that much money. But to me, I would not spend that money. Like, honestly, if I was right now, like, all right, the thing is, when you're 30, dude, like, it's college time. And like, I'm like, all right, what's that? And they're like, it's this place, you can do that, and you learn, you fucking live, and they got cafeterias, and you get blowjobs from girls at frat parties. Like, all right, that part's kind of sick. And they're like, you know, it costs this amount of money, you gotta get this thing. I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm just gonna figure another route out that's not so much. I mean, so like, yeah, I'd rather move to fucking Arizona and Phoenix and find a job there and learn what living is. I mean, dude, so when you say, yeah, he's not ready to grocery shop, yeah, he's not. But that's how you start. You never start something ready. You start something like
Yeah.
that's gonna stretch you. So I mean, I gotta tell you, dude, I've been ready to do any of these shits. Like honestly, I've been stunted since college. Like I've really got out and like kind of just made enough money to buy food all the time, or like I really wasn't. I needed at least it just prolonged a little bit of a fantasy for me, and so I think that that's even the case for the people that get these loans. Like I said, it's forget that you're got it from mom, or dad, your aunt, your grandma, you did it, or I'm sorry, like or the bank. It's still money that you didn't create that's given to you
But
to spend.
listen. I don't think. I just don't think that kids are at 17 years old are really. I don't think they know what $40,000 is, let alone compounded interest over a student loan over like a 30-year payback or whatever it is. Because I know you can pay it back over like a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
It's unreal.
It's unreal. It's an unreal. It's a cycle.
Dude, $40,000. I know we keep sticking on this figure of 40 grand because I think it's
Is that a year?
some schools it's not even.
Like, what did Salisbury cost a year?
Maybe like 10. So
10
yeah, so that'd be 40 for
Okay.
yeah. So that's 40.
And that was meals and lodging and everything?
My mother and father could have 40 extra. That was just my college. My brother went to William Mary, which is like 30 G's a year. Yikes. Dude, like my mother and father did not need to do that. It kills me that they did. Honestly,
Just make enough and pay it back. Do it like all the rich guys do. You know what I mean? Like, be so successful that you get to buy mom and pops like a house.
it's not gonna happen for a little bit of time. I just my mind went somewhere different for a second. I don't know if like diving into all the shit that was just in my mind just now, but like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of money that they spend, is all I'm saying, man, for what, and like here I am working at a restaurant. Yep.
I hear it all the time, man. I hear it all the time. Guys are like coming to like cop job fairs and federal job fairs and everything, and they're always like, well, I got my 4-year degree, and I'm like, you need some experience. And they're like, but I graduated. I'm like, but you need some experience, and they just don't get it. A lot of kids really think that the next step after college is like
60 G's.
60 G. Like, show me the pay.
Wasn't for this guy.
I was like, it really doesn't happen.
When I got out
of
college, I was making, like at my first job, I was making $30,000.
I mean, that's entry level. Entry level.
Which is, I didn't even think anything of it. And I was able to more than double that by the time that I left that particular company. But you didn't need to. Dude, there's servers that make $100,000 a year. Like, you don't. There's the thing is, what I don't like is that anything is something you learn. Okay, so like, what I actually really don't appreciate, and it's not something that I would necessarily do, but I don't appreciate the attitude towards things and the misconceptions, is that like you look at somebody's electrician, like they're learning a lot about something. Okay, and then you're like, well, I went to college. Like, okay, but you're just learning a lot about something else. It's just like, it's all learning a lot about something. So like, you've just kind of classed topics like socially. You've kind of like there's like classism almost to like professions or things you're doing. I'm like, but these guys are like gonna make more than the guy who went to college and is working at T. Rowe Price for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? The guy's gonna make maybe max 80 grand because they don't, because you gotta, at a certain point, you gotta kind of push yourself further. I mean, the only certain people, fewer and fewer people push themselves to the point where they're gonna make more and more. You have to be a certain type of person who wants that and goes after it and figures out how to do it.
And I think the classing portion goes into a lot of like misnomers on what people do. Like, like
plumbers. Like, plumbers are great business, dude. Like,
and most of them,
it's a lot to know.
Yeah, and a lot of them go into business for themselves eventually.
Most do, and they run their own business and they have their own jobs and they know a lot about things and they have a shit ton of experience. And it's like, okay, well then forget that it's called plumbing and just it's a thing that they're doing, and they're making money at. Like, I looked at with restaurants, dude. Like, look at my cousin. Like, he's like I looked at restaurants. Like, that's restaurants. That's something you do when you are on break from school, right? It's an industry. It's a business.
Oh yeah.
Like, one of the things that my cousin had said to me, he's like, when I was thinking about coming to work, he's like, if you look at this like a career, like the sky's the limit. I mean, like you can. This is a career. This is an industry of millions and billions of dollars, or whatever. I don't know how much money's in the rest, but the point is, it's just like so. Like, why do I think why am I going in thinking that this doesn't count? You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was in my head.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't count. This isn't related to, like, I worked at T. Rowe Price and they're like, oh, it's finance and you had to have gone to college for that. Let me tell you this right now. This guy did not need to go to college to do the things I was doing at T. Rowe and what I was eventually going to do. Now, I needed to learn things, and if I was going to keep going, I had to get certain designations, get smart. But, like, that's a bit of a specific thing in a field. I could have started studying that shit fucking out of high school.
With a T. Rowe textbook.
Yeah, I mean, like, seriously, we're like with finance. Like, look, you're gonna finance. You need to know these things, these fucking analysis and risk formulas, wherever the fuck, and approaches to finance mathematically and all that stuff. And I didn't need a college education to have gotten to be able to do that stuff. And so, like, I mean, I was selling things, and I was selling things that I learned about through the company I worked for. Man, I should have just worked for T. Rowe Price right when I graduated high school.
So, yeah. So on that same note, what occupations do you think you need college for? Like, obviously, I would say anything in the medical industry. You got to go to college for.
Forget the word college. Okay, there's certain things you need a curriculum of education for. Yeah. Medical, doctor, like, I'm sure.
Engineers.
You need that for electricians. Need that. You need that for. That's why they go to school.
Electrician, like, I really think that, like, 2 years OJT on the job training, like, with an experienced electrician, like, I could do it.
Yeah, but
if a guy talk me through it,
you could do the same thing with, like, medical, dude. Like, all right, I'm just gonna literally shadow you, be a doctor, and all the things that come up, and like.
I think doctors really need that formal education.
Yeah, but, like, I think same thing electricity, dude. You understand how huge electricity is? Like, dude, there's more nuances than you realize, dude. I realized that even just in working in the restaurant game, like, oh shit, there's a lot of nuance. Like, I underestimated the things about food and safety and allergy. Like, I mean, like, holy shit, this is very thorough. Like, to me, I'm like, just have walls in an oven and fucking something hot to put food on, and forks or not. Just give someone on a plate and you get, and it's just like, holy shit, there's a lot of in-depth things about it. But,
ladies and germs, this is gonna go against probably, I'd say 80% of my coworkers and people in my career field, but a useless college degree. Useless. Criminal justice.
I feel like a lot of girls do that.
Listen, everything you learn in there is not applicable unless you're going for, like, a law degree. Like, really, I mean, outside of that, like, a criminal justice degree doesn't teach you how to be a cop. It doesn't teach you how to be a lawyer. It doesn't teach you how to be a judge. In the career field, in itself, it really doesn't teach you much. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't. I mean, everything you learn, you can be a cop without a local cop or a federal cop without really a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, what did you? I have no idea what type of education that actually provides. Because everything really is provided through an academy or through formal training when you get hired on with these agencies. So, I don't know. That's a weird one too.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of that. Okay, dude. Like, I mean, tons of. Almost like even the business class school that I went through was just like.
Teach me how to balance a checkbook. Teach me how to spend my money wisely and not spend so much money on food and budgeting money. Like, teach me how to change the oil in my car so I don't give Jiffy Lube $45 every couple months. You know what I mean?
Changing your oil actually isn't that much more cost effective if you do it yourself, considering
Really?
the time that you put in and
For
everything.
my diesel, it is. It's
Like,
a
I
it's
don't know.
it's like it's a $100 kit you can buy, but it's 400 if you take it to the
Yeah,
BMW dealership.
whatever. I'm
Yeah.
not really stepping on a sturdy branch here. So
Yeah, no, it is for
Like,
that, but like for
yeah.
that one, it's actually worth it. But like, teach me life things. Send me out to
Right.
the world. Like, stop preparing me for individual career fields. Let me figure that out on my own. Teach me life. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
Like teach me fundamental things that will be helpful and
Bring back,
useful.
bring back like shop ed. Bring back like
It's so funny you say that,
driver's
dude.
ed. Why
I would
are
have had way more when I swear to God, I was just thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I need to be handier. And I was just like, I wish they should have been like very strict about the fucking the what do they call it, the classes in school where you had to like cut
tech
wood,
tech ed?
tech ed, right?
Tech ed.
Like there should have been a lot more than it. We should have held a lot more accountable because the thing that it is just like making decisions about completing something that needs to have a certain function as the result of it, and like you need to be figure out you need to make that happen.
Yeah.
And there's the craftsmanship that's required, and there's like the fact that people are like get rid of that. It's like I think we're kind of forgetting what that is, like why that's so important, and not even just for the content itself, but almost the way that you're learning, hands touching things and
Yeah.
learning through that. It's like it's really a shame, like kind of culture that we're like. I think maybe just like, oh, it's Hudson's not gonna be a construction worker. Like, but what's wrong with construction? It's another thing that gets it done that
Yeah.
people pay for. Like, why are we like deciding like things are smart and dumb professions? It's like I don't like that. It bothers me, and I get a little bit maybe you can call me rebellious or a little bit like want to be contrarian about stuff, but it's just like I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate being made to feel that there's one way and that we value things higher and that it distorts my way of assessing what matters to me.
Well, I think they put it all on how you dress, and because if they
Yeah,
knew,
good
it's like
point.
suit and tie, and nice shoes. Like you could be making $30,000 a year at a financial institute, making $30,000 a year. But if you're in a suit and tie, we as a culture say that you're successful. Whereas the Baltimore Gas and Electric guy that's sitting there sleeping in a truck out front of your house waiting for a power line to go out, he's probably making $80 an hour
Yeah.
sleeping in a truck waiting for a power line to go down. Like that guy's making cheese,
Yeah, I mean,
and he's got a very like risky job. Those linemen have risky jobs, but everybody's like, okay, well the business guy is like technically more successful, but nobody knows that. You know what I mean?
well, success
If it went on,
overall is subjective. But like, yeah, you're right. It's like if I wear, look, what I'm doing now. You know what kind of bothers me? I'll share is that I ran into my old neighbor, his kids we grew up with, and every time I've seen her, because she works at she works at a winery or something that, basically we do same business with, and so she sees me and she's like, oh my god, like. I think her son also does finance, and that's where the background I came from. And she's like, "You're doing this now?" I'm like, yeah. It's just like she keeps like rephrasing. So you left the corporate world, huh? And I'm just like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not, and it bothers me because maybe this is me just being in my own head, but like, I think that there's probably some truth to this. She thinks that like I kind of just either couldn't handle the pressure of something like that and decided to almost like be a hippie and not give a fuck and just kind of choose more quality of life over having means of working. I'm like, and, you know, she kind of talks to me as if I kind of just, I decided not to give in to corporate life. And it's like,
I hate those people.
yeah, I mean, and it's, you know what I'm
It's
saying?
the worst because they're not trying to be mean, but the underlying tone is like almost like that little
Yeah.
jab.
Yeah,
and
and-
you're just like, you just want to be like, you like listen for a little bit, and you're like, yeah, and before long you're like, fucking lady, like, yeah,
Yeah.
I
mean,
did
like,
it, personal decision.
yeah, Right, but it's also like I'm sitting there like I'm working. Like I'm have ambitions and goals and things I'm trying to accomplish and dreams
Yeah.
and the fact that you're kind of talking to me in a way that seems like I'm almost like this baby who decided not to like do something that was just decided I couldn't either have. It's just it's funny because one of the guys there, he's I've known for some time. He's like one of my cousin's oldest friends, and he's also an addict. He got clean like a little 2 months before me, so like
Okay.
he's like older. He's like 42 or something. He's like a cool Parkville dude,
Yeah.
and he's like he's just like just laughing as he's been to this place with me twice, and each time I run into her, and she's done the same type of thing.
Yeah.
Hey, he's like, what the fuck is with this lady? Like, he's like, she's literally like, she's literally like, you made the worst mistake of your life.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just the way she talks to you, and I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I was like, I'm glad that that's not just me interpreting it. And like, it's him too. Like, he
Yeah.
sensed that, and that's kind of validate a little bit of what I was picking up. And I don't. But then if I don't like it and then someone says shit, then that means that there must be some level of insecurity that I have about what I'm doing that brings it out of me. But I guess it doesn't anger me because I'm fighting for like what I'm doing. Like the decisions I've made,
Yeah.
they weren't. They're hard. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like on easy steer now. I mean, I'm trying so hard to like create something myself, and especially in a place where I'm like starting from scratch and have all these years of experience that aren't relevant to the field that I'm currently working in. That presents a certain type of opportunity for me. So it's just like, it pisses me off because like what I'm doing actually has been really hard. Like honestly, it was easy to stay in the corporate life. I knew how to apply ambition. I knew a game to play. I knew a ladder to climb. I knew where to go next. I knew how to basically get there.
Yeah.
And I was going to get paid to do that.
The thing about corporate world and anything like that, the playbook is there.
And it's,
you know what I mean?
And that's something that you should acknowledge is a nice thing. I mean,
hard work, a little bit of ambition, being positive at the workplace goes a long way. But I mean, what you're doing now, there's really no playbook. because you can try and end up on your butt. You know what I mean? Like you can and no fault of your own, it just may not work out. Right. You know what I mean? So there's really no like secret to success. You put yourself in the best place and you try to give yourself the best chance. But if it fucks up and you end up on your ass, you just got to start all over again. And in the world that you're living in now is like that's kind of where you're at.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think what you're doing is fucking awesome. Me, because I think you're taking what I look at for what you did is like I thought you were at like a 5. You know what I mean? Like you were at like a 5. You were going to be at a 6 and then a 7. And you'd eventually get to a 10 and you'd have to wait 10, 15 years to get to that 11. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you'd slowly climb. But I think you went from like a 5 to like a 1. But I think you'll get to 5 in like a year. And I think your potential is to get way higher doing what you're doing now.
To be like a 20 and 6.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the climb is faster, and I think that if that's the career field you want to be in is hospitality and kind of the restaurant business, then I think that, I mean, kudos to you, man. I mean, that's a big boy decision. I mean, even at 30, that's a big boy decision.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Roll that dice.
I mean, I kind of just rolled with it and had faith that this was kind of my gut. I mean, it wasn't like I thought about it enough that I could think about it, but I just was like, you know what? Like, I don't want... I think that fed into a little bit of my... And to be honest with you, as fucking tough as things are, and they kind of are somewhat tough right now, because I'm like... You know, whatever, but like it's better. You know, life is better than it's like honestly with all these things. It's like a lot of good things have happened since I've done this. It's like I need to remember that. I mean, yeah, being clean, having a lifestyle that's in line with being sober and kind of making my own decisions about things like that is good. But like I'm learning. I have a different sense of pride. I'm like healthier physically. I'm, like if in a new kind of like adult kind of healthy relationship, and it's like I don't. But I'm also being so myself in it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm not pretending hard. Like I'm like just there, man. Like it's me.
You're-
I mean, it's me.
You're not playing the character of
I'm not.
a finance man.
I
You're
can't. I got nothing. Like literally, they're like I met. It's crazy because it's like, and what gives me a little bit of faith is like, even like like with the woman that I'm seeing, it's like she met me, and I'm literally, yeah, I'm a little young. I'm younger than her, but like I'm literally this guy that's running a snowball stand. You know what I mean? And she's like a grown ass woman with like kids. Like she's like wants like a man. You know, or
Yeah.
she's gonna have like. And she's like, and she to me, she's like literally like we're just gonna definitely only be fucking around. And that's how I looked at her because I'm like I'm running a snow. Like I'm doing these things. Like I'm not trying, but like, but I think the faith that I have in that I hate to hit the mic, but the faith that I have in that decision and the why that I'm doing that were the means, the ends of which I'm trying to get through that, and like
yeah.
I think I've kind of just had nothing but really just faith in. You know what I mean? And with some rationale, but my point is like,
Listen,
like at least like somebody that is, like is with me is like sees that too,
Yeah.
and it's like oh, maybe I'm not crazy, right? Because like you wouldn't like.
here's the thing, bud. You, for the decision that you made, right? Leave it all, roll the dice, go to a whole different occupation, start from the bottom, build yourself up, completely pretty much erase everything that you've learned over the last like 6 years and start pretty much as if you're 18 years old coming out of high
It
school
is
in the restaurant business.
basically that.
Yeah.
With I mean, I have certain experiences and temperament and experience. I mean, I'm my emotional intelligence is
Yeah.
high. Like I mean,
Yeah.
I have a lot of good sales and communication experience. Like,
Yeah.
but go on. I'm sorry. Yeah, I get it.
But I think that decision had to come from faith in yourself at the
Mm-hmm.
very core. You know what I'm saying? Like when you did it, maybe impulsive, maybe kind of
There was probably some impulse in this too. Yeah.
but definitely like to continue down that road, you're gonna it's tremendous like self gut like straight like I gotta do it, like I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, and the longer that it goes, I'm like, man, I really got to do it. And it's like, and you're kind of just feel this a different type of accountability to yourself, and that I just didn't totally feel before. Now, like, and I was talking to my cousin about it one time, and or I talk all the time, but like, but he is like, you're working for you now. Like while you're working for yes, the business and this like, but like you're making decisions for you like to get to where you want to go, so it's like
Yeah.
it's a little bit different, like so like you're living differently in that sense, and it's like yeah, I mean like to be honest with you, that's part of like what I'm even sitting in this chair for, like honestly even tonight, and I mean I did not sleep well last night if at all. I mean, and I know we're gonna wrap things up here shortly for both of us, to be honest with you, but my point is that even like today I was like, I called you because I was like, we need to do it, and
Oh yeah.
and I'm working all night. This is honestly the only thing I wanted to do was go home or go to the girl's house and chill, like, and I was like, you know what, this is something that we're doing, you know what I mean? And it takes the late night thing. I mean, this is not our fucking. I really, I mean, we've had some good conversation. I actually like what we're doing now, but like, like, I don't know. It's just it kind of ties into like I need to do this. Something
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
doing. Like, dude,
Oh,
like if we're
yeah.
trying to get somewhere, like, we don't get it to by doing it when we only want to. Like, we have to do it because we said we're
Oh
gonna.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it requires the session where it's like this doesn't really work for me. Like, well, it's the only time, and it's got to get done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
And we
yeah.
got to be here. So if it's 11, so I was trying to suggest that to like, look, if it's gonna be 11:30 at night, dude, I'll fucking come after work in
Yeah.
9 hours,
Listen,
and I gotta work again tomorrow. And I'm like, all right, let's go.
if it's important, you have to make time for it, even when you don't want to. Even when you showed up at 11:25. I was in my bed.
I was skeptical when you
With-
didn't respond yet. I was like, this motherfucker probably is like.
I was in my bed till 11:15, and I woke up. I washed my face off, threw on a jacket, and I was like, "Let's roll."
Yeah, and
like it's go time. So
And that-
I'm listen. Anything that needs to get done, I may sleep up to the minute that it needs to get done, but I get it done. Like
Yeah.
you got to get it done.
yeah.
But
And like honestly, we didn't like do anything great on this episode. And I'm like, I gotta edit this, and I don't even know, but it's just important, you know.
oh yeah,
I think that like I don't think we'd be here. I don't think I'd be here if I still worked at Tira. And the thing is, I had the means, but I had the flexibility enough to come here
Yeah.
and do this. But I don't think I would have.
you were in a little different place.
I mean,
when you were working
let's
with
say,
Tira.
let's say I had gotten cleaned up and I went back to Tira and I was ambitious and working there. Like I just don't know if I would have just been really into. Honestly, here's the thing: is I may have been. There's a chance I may have been back to drinking at Tira, like eventually. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I would have been hard for me to redefine myself there when I've already redefined such a personality. Like
Yeah.
I mean, nobody doesn't want me to not go out there in a way that, and so like it would have been, it's where I would have been confused as far as who I am and what I'm presenting to the world. Is all I'm saying. Like this has allowed me to be represent. I mean, literally, people are starting to look at me like, oh, like, are you going out and drink? Like, actually, I don't drink. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, I'm like, yeah, no, it's I don't do it. I think it's but it's
It's just a thing I don't do anymore. That's all.
yeah, and so it's just that whole redefinition. But let's see what time it is. So it's 1:16. We should wrap her up. But I'm glad that we did this.
Hells yeah.
So I should be back to we're talking about our schedule and shit.
Yeah.
But like I should be back Friday night. Should be able to do it back to Friday night. So it's just
Yeah.
that might happen again.
Friday. Yeah. I mean, in that line of work, it happens, but we'll definitely make time for it.
Stick to it. Like have a couple things to talk about. I
yeah,
guess maybe.
yeah.
It's funny because we actually talk about good things. Like I think our conversation on like our views on education, like I don't know. I think that's a good conversation.
Somebody's gonna want to listen to it.
I mean, it's not. It's something we should talk about more. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'd like to have. Honestly, look, this is really good footage here, folks, because like we're like discovering the things that we want to learn more about, and that's one of them. Like, I want to talk to somebody who's got like an idea for an alternative type of education, or like
Let's get Mr. Arnold from high school on this podcast.
what. That's a
and-
big catch if we can get that guy. We need a big net for that fella.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Me and Justin were talking the other day. Like if this ever, and you know, high hopes, right?
The fantasy.
high,
world,
high hopes of this podcast, my friend. But I would love to see Mickey Coachella come on here. Cause
really?
you know he's a comedian. He's fucking hilarious. I've seen him stand up twice, but like he's got a real interesting story. Like with the Junkies, the 98 Rock Junkies, and like I think like there was like something that went on where he didn't agree with them, or they kicked him off, or something like that, or he had something go on with that where he pretty much just said go pound sand, and he left there. And now he's doing stand up, but like every time he is just raw, filthy, dude. I was like, he'd be fucking hilarious. I was like, I'd like to see him come on and just talk about his life.
Yeah, he's the kind of liberatorious a good bit.
Yeah,
Isn't he?
yeah. A little bit of a boozer.
I was gonna
but-
say,
but yeah.
definitely likes his wine.
Yeah.
But I've heard him before come on because it used to be Mickey Million.
Yeah. Spiegel. Mickey Million Spiegel? Is that the
Yeah, now it's Justin's. Yeah, now it's. What am I? I'm all fucked up. I can't remember. But yeah, Mickey Million Spiegel is
Yeah.
like what he used to.
Yeah.
And they I remember he used to come on and talk about like depression and stuff after he got into
Yeah.
vaping. That was the last time I heard Mickey Chell was like on like back on there and he's like obsessed with vaping and telling everybody how
Yeah.
great vaping is. Well, from the recent news reports I think we've seen come across the airways, I don't want to stop endorsing the vaping, but
Yeah.
what do I know about? But yeah. I mean, like I think that'd be good, like especially for a local pool.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm like already being like selective. I don't know if he makes the cut. Like literally no one is coming. But
But I bet you has some stories from like 98 Rock Days and stuff.
yeah, that'd be a good thing. That'd be a really good thing to get on.
Hammerjacks, when Hammerjacks was there, I think that was big when 98 Rock was big.
Yeah,
Like the
that would be
heyday.
good.
Yeah.
We need to get a fourth Mac and probably a bigger little studio to fit him and fucking us three in here.
Yeah.
But all right, well let's wrap this up. Thanks to anybody who listens, will listen, and will listen again. Um, this is a little bit of a one off because we're missing our third member here.
True. And we're doing it late night on a
We kind of just did this to stay disciplined, but nonetheless, this is gonna be some archival footage when we're
pretty good conversation. Maybe able to bring up the topic again.
Mm-hmm.
But because this probably won't get viewed tonight by anybody.
I'm not nothing's getting
Let's,
posted at all today.
Let's
At the
give a
moment.
good hopeful Ravens win tomorrow against San Francisco. Keep the train going. And I think we're out. Gobble gobble, people.